The red phone rang at exactly 3:17 a.m. Commander Ethan Brooks woke instantly, years of military training kicking in. Only 3 people had this number, and none would call unless something was very wrong. "Brooks," he answered, voice clear despite the hour. "Ethan, she's gone." It was Olivia, his ex-wife. Her voice shook with fear. "Lily is gone." Ethan sat up straight, fully awake now. "What do you mean, gone?" "I checked on her at midnight before going to bed. At 3, I woke up with this feeling something was wrong. Her bed is empty, Ethan. The windows are locked from the inside. The doors were all locked. But she's not here." Ethan was already pulling on his uniform. "Call the police. I'll be there in 20 minutes. By the time Commander Brooks arrived at the suburban home where his ex-wife and daughter lived, 3 police cars sat in the driveway with lights flashing. Neighbors stood on porches despite the early hour. Ethan pushed past the officer at the door, flashing his military ID. Inside, Olivia sat on the couch, her face pale. When she saw him, she stood up. "They don't believe me," she whispered. "They think I did something or that she ran away. But Lily wouldn't do that, and all her things are still here, even her shoes." Ethan nodded. Their daughter was smart, sensible, and only 8 years old. Running away made no sense. "Show me her room," he said. Lily's bedroom looked normal at first glance. The bed was unmade, as if she had simply gotten up. Her favorite stuffed bear sat on the pillow. Books lined the shelves and hand-drawn pictures of stars and planets covered one wall. Lily wanted to be an astronaut. Ethan noticed something odd right away. The air felt strange, like after a lightning storm. He pulled out his phone and opened a special app. The screen turned blue, then flashed red. "Everyone out," he ordered. "Now." The police officers looked startled, but something in his voice made them obey. When the room was empty except for him and Olivia, he showed her the phone screen. "What is that?" she asked. "Energy readings." "Not from Earth?" Olivia put a hand to her mouth. "What are you saying?" "I need to make a call," Ethan said. He stepped into the hallway and dialed a number few people knew existed. "This is Commander Brooks, authorization code Sierra 9 Delta 4. I need to speak to Admiral Warren immediately. We have a code black situation." Within an hour, men and women in plain clothes arrived at the house. They wore no uniforms, but they moved with military precision. They brought strange equipment that beeped and hummed as they scanned Lily's room. A woman with short gray hair approached Ethan. "Commander Brooks, I wish we were meeting again under better circumstances." "Admiral Warren," he nodded. "What are we dealing with?" "The energy signature is clear. Teleportation technology, not ours. And your daughter isn't the only one." She led him to a laptop set up in the kitchen. 11 other children disappeared the same way tonight. All between 8 and 10 years old. All gifted in some way. "Lily has an eidetic memory," Olivia said, joining them. As a xenobiologist, she understood more than most what this meant. "She remembers everything she sees or hears. Perfectly." Admiral Warren nodded. "They chose specific targets. The question is why?" A young technician rushed into the kitchen. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission. It's being broadcast worldwide on all frequencies." They gathered around the laptop. The screen showed a sterile white room. Inside were 12 small beds. On each bed sat a child, including a small girl with long brown hair and serious eyes. "Lily. Oh God," Olivia whispered. The camera pulled back to reveal tall, thin figures moving among the children. They had gray-blue skin and large, almond-shaped eyes. They wore no clothes, but their bodies were covered in what looked like a metallic sheen. Words appeared at the bottom of the screen in several languages. "Human specimens safely acquired for the advancement of Azrathi biological understanding. Resistance is unnecessary and would be futile." "Can we track the signal?" Ethan asked, his voice tight with controlled anger. "We're trying," Admiral Warren said. "But it's coming from well beyond our solar system." "They think we can't reach them," Ethan said. "They're wrong." The Admiral looked at him sharply. "That information is classified, Commander. My daughter has been taken by aliens. I don't care what's classified anymore. The Admiral was quiet for a moment, then nodded. Very well. Mrs. Brooks, as a xenobiologist, your clearance is high enough. Follow me. They drove in silence to a nearby military base. Deep underground, they entered a room where the walls were covered with star maps. In the center stood a holographic display showing 3 sleek vessels. The EDF Vengeance, Retribution, and Judgment, Admiral Warren said. Earth's first interstellar warships, built with technology we reverse-engineered from a crashed alien vessel 30 years ago. They were meant for exploration. Now it seems they'll serve another purpose. How soon can they launch? Ethan asked. 24 hours. Meanwhile, millions of miles away, Lily Brooks sat on the edge of a white bed watching her captors. Unlike the other children who cried or sat frozen in fear, she studied everything. The way the aliens moved, the sounds of their language, the patterns of the lights that controlled the doors. She noticed one alien who seemed to be in charge. It had markings on its skin the others lacked. When it gestured, the others obeyed. When it made certain sounds, doors opened. Most importantly, Lily noticed that when the aliens thought the children weren't watching, they removed devices from recessed panels in the walls. These devices controlled everything. Lily pretended to sleep. Through barely open eyes, she watched an alien use a 6-digit code to open a panel. She memorized the sequence. She didn't know if anyone was coming to rescue them, but she knew her father. Commander Ethan Brooks never gave up, and neither would she. Back on Earth, Ethan strapped himself into the command chair of the EDF Vengeance. Around him, the best crew Earth could provide prepared for launch. All systems ready, Commander, the pilot reported. Ethan looked at the photo of Lily he had placed on his console. Hold on, sweetheart, he whispered. We're coming. He turned to the communications officer. Signal the fleet. It's time to show by these Azrathi that they took the wrong child from the wrong species. The Vengeance's engines flared to life, followed by the Retribution and Judgment. As they rose through Earth's atmosphere, Admiral Warren's voice came over the comm. Bring our children home, Commander, and make sure the Azrathi never threaten Earth again. With pleasure, Admiral, Ethan replied. With pleasure. The 3 Earth ships moved through the darkness of space faster than humans had ever traveled before. Inside the EDF Vengeance, Commander Ethan Brooks studied the star charts projected above the command table. His crew worked around him with quiet efficiency, each chosen for their skills and determination. Dr. Samantha Reed, Lily's mother and a leading xenobiologist, entered the bridge. Unlike Olivia, who had remained on Earth as their liaison with the Defense Council, Sam had insisted on joining the mission. No one knew alien biology better than she did. Our long-range scans are picking up an energy signature, she said. It matches what we found in Lily's room. Ethan nodded. How far? About 2 light years from our current position. We'll reach it in 6 hours. Major Kyle Daniels, head of the Special Forces team on board, joined them at the command table. My people are ready, sir. We've been training for first contact for years, just not this kind. None of us expected first contact to involve kidnapping. Our children, Ethan said. His voice was calm, but his eyes betrayed his anger. Dr. Chen, what have you learned about their technology? Dr. William Chen looked up from his station. As Earth's expert on the alien tech they'd salvaged years ago, his insights were crucial. Their teleportation system is far more advanced than anything we've developed, but it has limitations. It requires enormous energy and precise coordinates. They couldn't have taken the children randomly. They didn't, Sam said. All 12 children have exceptional cognitive abilities. Lily remembers everything. Another child is a math prodigy. Another can learn languages in days. But why take children? Major Daniels asked. Why not adults? Sam's face darkened. Because children are adaptable. Their brains are still developing. These aliens, the Azrathi, might be studying how human brains work. What makes us different? Different from them, you mean? Ethan said. Different from anything in the galaxy. Aboard the Azrathi research vessel, Lily Brooks sat cross-legged on her bed, watching. 3 days had passed since the abduction. The other children were still afraid, but they were starting to look to her for guidance, especially Noah, a boy about her age who had the bed next to hers. "Do you think they'll hurt us?" Noah whispered. Lily shook her head. "They're studying us. Look at how careful they are when they take samples. They don't want to damage us." Noah looked impressed. "How do you know so much?" "I watch them, and I remember everything." She leaned closer. "I've figured out their system. The tall ones with the silver marks give orders, the smaller blue ones do the tests, and the green ones bring food and clean." What good does knowing that do us?" Lily smiled. "The more we know about them, the better our chances of getting home." At that moment, the door slid open. 2 Azrathi entered, one tall with silver markings, another blue one. The silver one pointed at Lily. "Again?" She sighed but stood up. This would be the 4th time they had taken her for tests. Noah looked scared, but Lily gave him a reassuring nod. As she followed the aliens, she concentrated on memorizing every turn, every door code she could glimpse, and every symbol on the walls. The blue alien led her into a room she hadn't seen before. It was larger, with a curved window showing the blackness of space. Stars streaked by as the ship moved at incredible speeds. The silver alien spoke, its voice a series of clicks and whistles. To Lily's surprise, a mechanical voice followed, translating into English. "Subject 7, you show unusual neural patterns. You observe more than the others, you adapt faster." Lily kept her face blank, not showing her surprise at being addressed directly. "My name is Lily Brooks, not Subject 7. The alien's large eyes blinked slowly. The translator spoke again. "You will explain how human children develop cognitive skills so different from adults?" "I don't understand the question," Lily said. The alien made a gesture, and a holographic display appeared. It showed brain scans, 12 of them, labeled with numbers. Lily recognized her own at once. "Your species produces individuals with extreme variations in mental processing," the alien said. "This should not be possible without genetic engineering. Yet your species does not possess this technology." Lily thought carefully before answering. "Humans are all different. That's just how we are." The alien made another gesture, and the display changed to show DNA sequences. The variation defies explanation. In the Azrathi Imperium, all members of a caste are identical in capability. It is efficient, predictable. "Sounds boring," Lily said before she could stop herself. The alien studied her for a long moment. "You will be moved to advanced testing. Your adaptability is remarkable for a primitive species." Back on the Vengeance, the crew had detected the Azrathi vessel. It was massive, at least 20 times larger than their ship. "It's a research vessel, not a warship," Dr. Chen said, studying the scans. "But it still outguns us." Ethan looked at the tactical display. "We're not here to fight, if we don't have to. We're here for the children." He turned to his communications officer. "Send a message on all frequencies, keep it simple. Return the human children immediately, or face consequences." Minutes passed. No response came. "They're ignoring us, Major," Daniel said. "No," Sam corrected. "They're studying our approach, analyzing our capabilities." She pointed to the scan. "See those energy spikes? They're scanning us." Ethan nodded. "Then let's give them something to think about. Signal the Retribution and Judgment. Execute Maneuver Delta." The 3 Earth ships spread out, taking positions around the Azrathi vessel. It was a standard envelopment tactic, but executed with a precision that came from countless drills. "They're powering up their engines," the sensor officer reported, attempting to move away. "Not so fast," Ethan said. "Fire warning shots. Minimal yield, maximum visibility." The Vengeance's forward cannons fired, the energy beams passing just meters from the Azrathi ship's hull. The other Earth ships did the same, creating a cage of light around the alien vessel. "They've stopped," the sensor officer reported. "Now they're responding," the communications officer said. "Audio and visual." The main screen activated, showing one of the silver-marked aliens. Its voice came through the translator. Human vessels, your interference is unexpected. The specimens were collected for scientific study by the Azrathi Imperium. Your technological capability is surprising for such a primitive species. Ethan stood, facing the screen. I am Commander Ethan Brooks of Earth. You have abducted children from our world. Return them immediately. The alien's eyes narrowed. These specimens are now property of the Azrathi Scientific Authority. Your demands are irrelevant. Those specimens are our children, Ethan replied, his voice dangerously quiet. And you will return them or we will take them back by force. The alien made a dismissive gesture. Your threats are meaningless. The Imperium spans 1,000 worlds. Your 3 vessels cannot hope to. The communication suddenly cut off. Alarms blared across the bridge. Sir, the sensor officer called out. They're charging weapons. Ethan returned to his command chair. All ships, evasive maneuvers. It seems the Azrathi need a demonstration of how primitive we really are. As the first energy blasts from the alien ship lit up space, the Earth vessels scattered with a speed and agility that clearly caught the Azrathi by surprise. The battle for humanity's children had begun. The EDF Vengeance shuddered as another energy blast glanced off its shields. Commander Ethan Brooks gripped his command chair, watching the tactical display as the 3 Earth ships danced around the much larger Azrathi vessel. Shields at 67%, reported Lieutenant Ryan Miller, the operations officer. We can't take many more direct hits like that last one. We don't need to, Ethan replied. Major Daniels, is your team ready? The Special Forces leader nodded from his position, near the bridge door. Ready and waiting, sir. Ethan turned to Dr. Chen. What about the teleporter? The scientist looked up from his station, his face tense with concentration. I've analyzed their shield frequencies. There's a pattern to the modulation. If we time it right, we might be able to teleport a small team aboard during the next cycle. Might? Major Daniels asked. Dr. Chen shrugged. It's alien technology we've only partially reversed engineered. Nothing is certain. The children don't have time for certainty, Dr. Reed said, joining them. She had changed from her science uniform into combat gear. Her face was determined. I'm going with the strike team. Ethan started to protest, but Sam cut him off. Don't even try, Commander. I'm the only one who can identify all 12 children quickly, and I know more about Azrathi biology than anyone. If we need to incapacitate them without killing them, you need me. After a moment, Ethan nodded. Major, she's your responsibility. Get my daughter and the others out safely. What about you, sir? Kyle asked. I'll coordinate from here. The Azrathi are going to notice when we start teleporting their specimens out. We'll need to keep them busy. Aboard the Azrathi vessel, alarms wailed as the ship rocked from another hit. Lily Brooks stumbled against the wall of her containment area as the lights flickered. The other children looked terrified, but Lily felt a spark of hope. The ship was under attack, and she could think of only one reason why. It's a rescue, she whispered to Noah. It has to be. Noah looked doubtful. How could anyone from Earth get all the way out here? My dad would find a way, Lily said with absolute confidence. We need to be ready. The door to their area slid open and 3 Azrathi rushed in, 2 blues and 1 silver. The silver one gestured urgently, its translator device activated. Move all specimens to secondary containment. Security Protocol Omega. The blues began herding the children toward the door. Lily caught Noah's eye and mouthed, Get ready. As they were pushed into the corridor, Lily deliberately stumbled, bumping into one of the blue Azrathi. As it steadied her, she slipped its small control device from a fold in its skin. The children were marched down a series of corridors, deeper into the ship. Lily carefully memorized each turn, each intersection. Finally, they reached a new containment area, smaller and with no windows. This is bad, Noah whispered. They're hiding us. Lily showed him the device she had stolen. Maybe not for long. In the teleportation chamber of the EDF Vengeance, Major Daniels and his team of 6 soldiers checked their weapons one last time. Dr. Reed stood with them, a small sidearm holstered at her hip. She carried a medical kit and a tablet with the children's biometric data. Remember, Ethan's voice came through their comms. This is a rescue mission. Avoid casualties if possible, but the children's safety comes first. Dr. Chen's voice followed. I've pinpointed a storage area near the center of the ship. It's close to where we detected human life signs before they were moved. Moved? Sam asked, alarmed. They seem to be relocating the children. We need to hurry. The team stepped onto the teleportation platform. Major Daniels gave a nod to the technician. Energize. For a moment, the world dissolved into blue light. Then, with a disorienting shift, they found themselves in a dimly lit room filled with alien equipment. Area secure, whispered Sergeant Patel after a quick sweep. No hostiles. Major Daniels activated his scanner. I'm picking up human life signs. That way. He pointed down a corridor. About 200 meters. Wait, Sam said, studying her tablet. Something's wrong. The readings are scattered. The children aren't all together anymore. They're splitting them up, Kyle realized. Making them harder to find. Sam pointed to her screen. But look at this energy signature. It's Lily. I'd recognize her pattern anywhere. She's with 3 other children moving along this corridor. Kyle divided his team with hand signals. Jackson, Rivera, Garcia, you're with Dr. Reed. Find those 4 children. The rest of you with me. We'll locate the others. As they moved through the alien ship, they encountered surprisingly little resistance. The Azrathi seemed focused on the space battle raging outside. Sam's group turned a corner and froze. Ahead, 2 blue Azrathi stood guard outside a door. Sam studied them, then whispered to Sergeant Jackson, "The one on the left. See the patterns? On its neck? That indicates a nervous system vulnerability. A directed sonic pulse should incapacitate it temporarily." Jackson nodded and adjusted his weapon. 2 quick, nearly silent bursts later, both aliens lay unconscious on the floor. Sam hurried to the door and examined the control panel. "I can't read this." "Allow me, ma'am," Rivera said, attaching a small device to the panel. The door slid open. Inside, 4 children huddled together. 3 of them shrank back in fear, but one small girl with brown hair stood up, eyes wide with recognition. "Mom," Lily whispered. Sam rushed forward, wrapping her arms around her daughter. "Lily, are you hurt?" Lily shook her head. "I knew someone would come." She pulled back, suddenly all business. "We need to find the others. They took them to different rooms." "We have another team looking," Sam assured her. Lily held up a small alien device. "I stole this. It controls the doors, and I memorized the ship layout. I know where they took the others." Sam stared at her daughter in amazement, then smiled. "Of course you do." On the bridge of the Vengeance, Ethan received the news with visible relief. "They've found Lily and 3 others. She's safe, sir." Ethan allowed himself one moment of pure joy before focusing again on the battle. "What about the others?" "Still searching. The Azrathi have scattered them throughout the ship." The tactical officer called out, "Sir, the alien vessel is attempting to power up its main engines. I think they're trying to run." "Not with our children aboard," Ethan said firmly. "Target their engine nacelles. Precision strikes only." The Vengeance fired, its energy beams slicing into the Azrathi ship's propulsion system with surgical precision. The alien vessel shuddered, then went dark for a moment, before emergency systems activated. Inside the alien ship, Lily led her mother and the soldiers through the corridors with confidence. The ship has a hub-and-spoke design. All these paths lead back to the central section. The others should be in these containment areas. They rounded a corner and came face to face with the silver-marked Azrathi who had been studying Lily. Behind, it stood 4 blue guards. The alien's large eyes widened in what might have been surprise. Its translator activated. "Impossible. How did primitive humans board this vessel?" Sam stepped in front of Lily protectively. "We're not as primitive as you thought." The alien studied her, then Lily. "The physical resemblance suggests you are this specimen's progenitor." "She is my daughter," Sam said firmly. "Not a specimen, and we're taking all the children home." The alien made a sharp gesture, and the guards raised their weapons. I think not. The Imperium does not surrender valuable research subjects. Lily stepped forward, surprising everyone. You should. The alien tilted its head. Explain. Because, Lily said calmly, humans don't give up. Ever. Especially not when it comes to their children. She held up the stolen control device. And we learn very, very quickly. Before the alien could react, Lily pressed a sequence of buttons. Alarms blared, and the corridor was suddenly sealed by force fields at both ends, trapping the Ezrathi, but leaving the humans free to move through. An open side door. This way, Lily called, pulling her mother along. We need to hurry. Lily led her mother and the soldiers through the twisting corridors of the alien ship. The stolen control device in her small hand blinked with blue light as she used it to open doors and bypass security fields. How do you know how to use that thing? Sergeant Jackson asked, watching Lily operate the alien technology with surprising skill. I watched them, Lily explained simply. The patterns are logical once you understand their base 6 numbering system. Sam looked at her daughter, with pride and amazement. Even she hadn't figured out the Ezrathi numerical system yet. They reached another containment area where they found 3 more children. Noah was among them, and he ran to Lily with relief clear on his face. You escaped, he said. And you brought help. I told you they'd come, Lily replied. She turned to her mother. 5 more to go. They should be in the research section. Sam touched her comm. Read to Daniels. We've found 7 children total. Lily says the rest are in the research section. Major Daniels's voice came through. Copy that. We've secured 2 more. Meet us at junction T47. Lily looked at the nearest wall marking. That's 3 levels up, this way. As they moved, the ship shuddered again as another blast from the Earth vessels hit it. Emergency lights flashed and alien voices echoed over the intercom system. What are they saying? Rivera asked. They're calling all warriors to the defense stations, Lily translated, and all scientists to secure their research subjects. The adults stared at her. You speak their language? Sam asked. Lily shrugged. Not really, but I've been listening. The patterns are similar to some Earth languages, just with different sounds. They reached a vertical shaft with platforms moving up and down. This will take us up, Lily said, like an elevator but with no walls. They stepped onto a platform, and it began to rise. Halfway up, the ship rocked violently from another hit. The platform tilted and Noah started to slip off the edge. Lily reached out and grabbed his hand, but she was too small to pull him back. Sam lunged forward, catching Noah's other arm. Together they pulled him to safety. Thanks, Noah gasped. I thought I was going to fall. Lily smiled. We stick together. That's how we get home. They met Major Daniels and his team at the junction. 2 more children were with them, looking scared but unharmed. 3 left, Kyle reported. According to our scans, they're in the main laboratory, heavily guarded. Sam checked her tablet. The life signs are unstable for one of them. We need to hurry. Lily studied the ship schematic she had memorized. There's a service tunnel that leads directly to the lab. The Ezrathi don't use it much because it's too small for them. But we could fit. Kyle looked skeptical. How do you know it'll get us there? I've seen the maintenance workers use it. The green ones. The major considered, then nodded. Lead the way. Lily found the access panel and used the stolen device to open it. Inside was a narrow tunnel just big enough for humans to crawl through. Children first, Kyle ordered. Then Dr. Reed. We'll follow and guard the rear. The tunnel was dark and tight, but Lily moved through it confidently. Behind her, the other children followed, with Noah encouraging the younger ones. Almost there, Lily whispered after several minutes of crawling. The lab should be just beyond this panel. She pressed her ear to the panel and listened. There are at least 3 of them inside. And, yes, I can hear human voices. The other children. Kyle moved up beside her. We need a distraction. Lily held up the control device. I think I can trigger their decontamination system. It would fill the room with mist and sound an alarm. Sam looked worried. Is it dangerous? No. Lily assured her. It's just to clean the air, but it's loud and makes it hard to see. Do it, Kyle decided. Lily carefully pressed a sequence on the device. Inside the lab, alarms began to wail, and a fine mist sprayed from ceiling vents. The panel slid open, and the rescue team rushed in. The Azrathi scientists were disoriented by the sudden alarm. They moved about in confusion, trying to locate the source of the malfunction. The rescue team quickly located the remaining 3 children. One boy was strapped to an examination table, monitoring devices attached to his body. While the soldiers engaged the few Azrathi guards, Sam rushed to free the boy. He's been sedated, but he'll be okay, she reported after checking his vital signs. We need to move, Kyle urged. They'll figure out what's happening soon. With all 12 children now accounted for, they began their retreat toward the teleportation coordinates. Lily stayed at the front with her mother, guiding them through the least used corridors. They were nearly at the extraction point when a group of silver-marked Azrathi blocked their path. These were different from the scientists. Their bodies, more muscular, their posture aggressive. Warriors, Lily whispered. The lead Azrathi stepped forward. Its translator activated. Humans, return the specimens and surrender. The Imperium does not tolerate theft. Kyle moved to the front of the group. We're not stealing anything. We're taking back our children. Primitive concepts of ownership do not apply. The specimens were claimed for the advancement of Azrathi science. This is sanctioned by Imperial law. Sam stepped up beside Kyle. Our laws say otherwise, and we have just as much right to follow our laws as you do yours. The Azrathi made a dismissive gesture. Your laws are irrelevant. The Imperium spans 1,000 worlds. Earth is one primitive planet. Lily moved forward, surprising everyone. But it's our planet, and we protect our own. The Azrathi warriors raised their weapons. Kyle and his team prepared to defend the children, but before either side could fire, the ship rocked violently. The lights flickered, then went out completely, plunging the corridor into darkness. Emergency systems kicked in moments later, bathing everything in dim blue light. What was that? Noah asked fearfully. My dad, Lily said with absolute certainty. Aboard the EDF Vengeance, Commander Ethan Brooks watched as the precision strike hit the Azrathi vessel's power core. Direct hit, the tactical officer reported. Their main power is offline. Weapons and shields are down. Status of the rescue team? Ethan demanded. Still on board. We're having trouble getting a lock for teleportation with their systems fluctuating. Ethan made a quick decision. Prepare a shuttle, I'm going aboard. His executive officer looked alarmed. Sir, protocol states. I know what protocol states. Ethan cut him off. But that's my daughter over there, and I promise to bring her home. In the dimly lit corridor of the alien ship, the rescue team seized the opportunity created by the power failure. The Azrathi warriors were momentarily disoriented by the sudden darkness. Kyle signaled his team. Move, now! They pushed past the white, confused aliens, the soldiers forming a protective barrier around the children. Lily used her stolen device to open emergency bulkheads that would otherwise have sealed automatically. The teleportation point is just ahead, Kyle called. Everyone stay close. They rounded a corner and found themselves in a large cargo bay. Through the massive windows, they could see the Earth ships holding position around the crippled Azrathi vessel. This is Major Daniels to Vengeance. We have all 12 children ready for extraction. But before the teleporters could activate, the cargo bay doors opened. The silver-marked leader of the Azrathi scientists stood there with a squad of warriors. This ends now, it said through its translator. I don't think so, came a new voice. Commander Ethan Brooks stepped into the cargo bay from a side entrance, flanked by another team of Earth soldiers. His eyes found Lily immediately, and for a brief moment father and daughter shared a look of pure relief. Then Ethan turned to face the Azrathi leader. I think it's time we had a proper conversation about boundaries, don't you? The cargo bay fell silent as Commander Ethan Brooks and the Azrathi leader faced each other. Between them stood the children, protected by Earth soldiers with weapons raised. The emergency lights cast everything in an eerie blue glow. Who are you? The alien asked through its translator. Commander Ethan Brooks, Earth Defense Force, and father of the child you've been experimenting on. His voice was calm, but his eyes were hard. We're leaving with our children, all of them. The Azrathi leader studied him. I am High Examiner Vorthal of the Azrathi Scientific Authority. You have damaged an Imperial vessel and interfered with sanctioned research. This will have consequences. Ethan didn't flinch. There are already consequences. You took our children. Lily stepped forward, despite her mother's attempt to hold her back. High Examiner, you made a mistake. The alien's large eyes fixed on her. Explain, Subject 7. My name is Lily, she corrected firmly. And your mistake was thinking we're primitive. We're not. We're different. Vorthal tilted his head. Your technology is basic. Your civilization confined to one world. Not anymore, Ethan said, gesturing toward the Earth ships visible through the window. And technology isn't everything. You took our children because you wanted to understand what makes us different. Now you're finding out. Sam joined them, standing beside her daughter. The Azrathi create perfect casts through genetic engineering. Everyone with a specific purpose, designed from birth. But humans evolved naturally. Our strength comes from our differences, our adaptability. And our family bonds, Lily added. Something you don't seem to have. Vorthal was silent for a long moment. Then he made a gesture, and the Azrathi warriors lowered their weapons slightly. Fascinating. Even your offspring participate in negotiations. His voice held a note of genuine curiosity. Perhaps there is more to study here than we realized. Not through kidnapping, Ethan said firmly. If you want to understand humans, there are better ways. The tension in the room remained high, but the immediate threat of violence had decreased. Ethan saw an opportunity. High Examiner, you claim to be scientists. True science requires understanding, not just observation. You can't understand humans by stealing our children and experimenting on them. That only shows you the worst of us, our fear, our anger. Yet it has also shown us your resourcefulness, your unity of purpose, Vorthal replied. No other species has ever tracked an Imperial vessel across space to recover their young. Because family matters to us, Sam explained. More than research, more than rules or laws. Vorthal studied the three of them, father, mother, and child, standing together. A peculiar arrangement. In the Imperium, offspring are raised by their designated caste trainers, not their progenitors. Maybe that's why you don't understand us, Lily suggested. You've never felt what it's like to have parents who would cross the galaxy to find you. Something changed in the alien's posture, a subtle shift that Lily noticed immediately. The High Examiner turned to one of his subordinates and spoke in their language. Lily listened carefully. He's asking about the Imperium's response fleet, she whispered to her father. They've called for reinforcements. Ethan touched his communicator. Brooks to Vengeance, status report. The reply came immediately. Sir, we're detecting multiple energy signatures at the edge of the system. Large vessels, Azrathi design. At least 7 of them. Ethan's face remained calm, but Lily could see the concern in his eyes. 3 Earth ships, no matter how advanced, couldn't fight 7 Imperial warships. Lily stepped closer to the High Examiner. You don't need to fight us. Vorthal looked down at her. The Imperium does not negotiate with lesser species who attack our vessels. We only attacked because you took us, Noah said, finding his courage and joining Lily. You started this. And we can end it, Lily continued, without more fighting. Ethan nodded at his daughter, encouraging her to continue. He recognized the spark in her eyes, the same one her mother got when she had figured something out. The Imperium doesn't know humans, Lily said. They only know what you tell them. You can tell them we're dangerous and should be destroyed, or you can tell them we're valuable and should be studied, properly with respect. Sam added, scientific exchange, not abduction. There's so much we could learn from each other. Vorthal considered this. The Imperium has protocols for first contact with advanced species, but your world was classified as pre-space flight, primitive. Then reclassify us, Ethan suggested. Your assessment was wrong. We've had faster-than-light capability for years, just in secret. We're not primitive, just cautious. And family-oriented, Sam added. Any future scientific exchange would need to recognize and respect that. The ship's communication system crackled and an Azrathi voice spoke urgently. Forthal listened, then turned back to the humans. The Imperial fleet demands I hand over the humans who attacked our vessel. They are preparing weapons. Ethan stepped forward. Then you need to decide, High Examiner. War with a species you don't understand or a chance to be the one who establishes first proper contact with humanity? Lily watched the alien's eyes. She had learned to read their expressions over the past days. He's considering it, she whispered, to her parents. Vorthal touched a control on his wrist. The translator activated, but he spoke in Azrathi. The message went out across all channels, to both the human ships and the approaching Azrathi fleet. When he finished, he looked at Lily. I have informed the fleet that an error was made. Earth was misclassified. Formal first contact protocols are now in effect. The tension in the cargo bay decreased noticeably. The Azrathi warriors stepped back, and the Earth soldiers lowered their weapons slightly. Thank you, Ethan said simply. Do not thank me yet, Commander, Vorthal replied. The Imperium does not admit mistakes easily. There will be investigations, questions, but for now you may return your offspring to your world. Lily smiled. We're called children, not specimens, not offspring. Children. Children, Vorthal repeated, the translator making the word sound strange. A concept we will need to study, through proper channels. Hours later, aboard the EDF Vengeance, the 12 children were being checked by medical staff. Lily sat on a bed in the medical bay, her parents on either side of her. You were amazing out there, Sam told her daughter. I've been studying xenobiology for years, and you learned more about the Azrathi in days than I could have in months. Ethan nodded in agreement. You saved us all. If you hadn't understood what was happening, we might be at war right now. Lily leaned against her father's shoulder, suddenly looking like a normal 8-year-old again. I just wanted to come home. And now we are, Ethan said, looking out the viewport where Earth was growing larger as they approached. Sam smiled. Not quite yet, but soon. She looked at her daughter with pride. You know, humanity just took its first real step into the galaxy, and it's all because the Azrathi abducted the wrong child. Lily yawned, the exhaustion of her ordeal finally catching up with her. Do you think they'll come back? They'll be back, Ethan said. But next time they'll knock on the front door like proper neighbors. As Lily drifted off to sleep, safe between her parents, the EDF Vengeance led the small fleet of Earth ships toward home. Behind them, the stars seemed a little closer, the galaxy a little smaller, and humanity's future a little brighter. The Azrathi had indeed abducted the wrong child, but in doing so, they had found the right species to teach them about family, determination, and the incredible adaptability of the human spirit.